Ladies and gentlemen from Las Vegas, Nevada, live on DAZN. We're set to go with our next bout of the evening, and it's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. Introducing your three judges scoring this contest from ringside: Glenn Feldman, Chris Migliori, and Don Trella. And at the sound of the bell, your third man in the ring, referee Alan Huggins. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 10 rounds of boxing scheduled in the super welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, he wears black with the gray camouflage. He scaled 157 3/4 pounds. Professional record, 20 victories, 1 defeat, with 7 wins coming by way of knockout. Peleando desde de las Canitas, Santo Domingo, República Dominicana, Luis El Olímpico Salazar. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He wears white with gray trim, official weight 156 1/2 pounds. Professional record, 10 victories, 2 defeats, 1 draw, with 7 wins coming by way of knockout. He trains out of Indio, California, by way of Khiva, Uzbekistan. Here is the former WBA super welterweight champion of the world, Исроил, the Dream Madrimov.
Israel. Both receiving instructions dressing room. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Anything from here on up is good. From here on up is good. Touch gloves. Good luck.
You know, Salazar came to the ring wearing the hat saying big upset. He was wearing a t-shirt all week long saying big upset. He had those shirts and those hats made just for this fight. He believes this is going to be his big moment. This is the fight that vaults him into the world title conversation, but it is a tall task going up against a man that still has as much talent as anyone in the junior middleweight division.
Here we go. The climb back to the top begins for Исроил Madrimov here in the super welterweight division. Wearing the white trunks is Madrimov, Salazar in the black and camo. Sergio, not a lot of footage to look at from Salazar, though we do know he's won 5 in a row, 4 of those by knockout.
Yeah, and all those fights in the Dominican Republic, most of them at least. So these are all the concerns we have with a fighter like Salazar. What exactly is in front of Madrimov? Madrimov doesn't know either. He's gonna have to figure him out with foot feints and closing that distance. But once he lands that first shot, that's what we're gonna see what Salazar's made of.
The Kevin Johnson fight, it really stands out. That was in Southern California on a Subriel Matias undercard. He just got beat up at 140 pounds. Madrimov is a career-long 154, and he can really crack. So I do want to see what that first punch to the chin looks like for Madrimov.
Madrimov coming off 2 surgeries, one on his shoulder, another on his meniscus. We mentioned he had pneumonia, had to travel the world to visit with lung specialists. And he was honest with us yesterday, guys. He said, look, I'm not 100%. I'm still getting back to where I need to be, but I'm kind of interested to see how I do myself.
Well, he says he's got 2 months left of this treatment, a 12-month treatment to cure the pneumonia. He mentioned he traveled the world, went to Germany to see a specialist, went to India to see a specialist, came back here to the U.S. to see specialists. This was a real issue that he was dealing with and is still dealing with at this point.
All of Madrimov's fights as a pro have been scheduled for either 10 or 12 rounds. He was thrown right into the fire from day one. Currently rated 6 in the WBC, 6 in the WBA, 8th in the WBO.
No one really committing to any kind of power right now, just fencing with that jab and pounding with that right hand. This is a feel-out round for both men, but you could see that Madrimov is taking his time, attacking with anything with power. He doesn't want to give Salazar a chance to counter with something big, but there's a big left hook.
Yeah, and that got the attention of Salazar, who's on a recent hot streak as far as knockouts. I mentioned he's KO'd 4 of his last 5 opponents. but he only has 7 career knockouts in his 20 wins, so it's a recent KO burst. He's found his adult power, his man strength.
Well, and he had a great camp, a 3-month camp sparring Carlos Adames, so he's prepared for this fight, and that's the reason he was wearing these shirts and hats, you know, with the quote big upset here, and this will be a huge upset if he can get it done.
And to win spectacularly. I'm going to tell you why. Madrimov's team told us this week that they believe they're in the mix to be the next opponent for Boots Ennis. Now, Boots Ennis, we know, is discussing a deal right now to fight Virgil Ortiz. I checked in with people at Matchroom, and I was told, yes, that if the Virgil Ortiz fight does not happen, that Madrimov is on a very short list to fight Boots in the first quarter of this year. And I will also say that being around these guys this week, and there are people from Team Boots here and Team Ortiz here as well, there's some optimism that that fight is going to happen in the first quarter of this year.
When we spoke to Madrimov and his coaches, Joel and Antonio Diaz, they were talking about Boots, of Bakram, the winner of Josh Kelly, even Fundora. I mean, these are the best of the best as junior middleweight, and Madrimov is not avoiding any of them.
Well, he said he wanted to get in the ring in January because Ramadan starts next month. Just wants to test himself, see how his body reacts since the surgeries and the bout of pneumonia. How would you rate how he's looking so far?
He's doing all right. He's doing okay. He's taking his time. I think he's being a little bit too careful here. I thought he was going to start faster on Salazar and try to get the respect on a guy that's not on his level, but so far so good. Nothing great, but good.
Yeah, I want to see him go back downstairs to the body. In that first round, there was a pretty good left hook to the midsection of Salazar that Salazar briefly stopped in his tracks, dropped that right hand. I want to see him go back downstairs, throw a few more of those shots, because Salazar, he kind of looks a little fleshy down there in the midsection.
Yes, he does. And they want the left hook from Madrimov, but in order for that left hook to land, you have to touch him downstairs. You have to foot feint, because Salazar drops his right hand when he throws that jab. That's a bad habit.
We know how great Madrimov was as an amateur. Salazar said, hey, don't forget about me. I've had over 300 amateur fights myself. That's why he believes he can pull off the big upset. In fact, he relocated to the United States, had his whole camp here, said he stepped up his game, but he's in there with one of the best in the business right now.
Just barely missing a left hook is Madrimov. That's what the punch they want more, but they need it. He needs to hide that left hook. Jab to the belly. There you go. Jab to the belly. Double jab upstairs. Then you can trick someone like Salazar to falling for that punch. More upper body movement too. The thing about Madrimov in this Uzbek style is not just footwork, but they have perpetual upper body movement. You know, so you don't know when he's gonna punch and attack. Opponents get surprised by that upper body movement. It lulls them to sleep.
What do you think Salazar's game plan is right now? It seems like he really hasn't figured out what he wants to do.
Right now, I think he's trying to get out of these early rounds, the first and second round.
Arena exclusively here on DAZN. Sergio, why would the corner tell Salazar to throw his jab at the shoulder, at the chest, not the head?
Well, I think it's only obvious. Madrimov has good upper body movement, so if you try to aim for the head, you're going to miss. But you aim at the chest and the belly, you know, that you're going to hit something. That's always something that coaches want to see. You know, they throw that straight right hand to the chest. It's easier to hit than a chin.
Salazar, a couple times around, will just kind of park it against the ropes or in the corner and let Madrimov throw some punches. Not sure what his strategy is there.
Yeah, Madrimov does have that herky-jerky style. We saw that make Terence Crawford have to really think in his fight against Madrimov. He's just very difficult to time because of how he moves that upper body.
Good body shot by Madrimov. Started with a jab and then left hook. Downstairs, you can see it. Salazar didn't like those body shots.
And again, Salazar just standing still against the ropes.
Good body shot there coming back by Salazar.
You know, you do get a little bit of a sense, at least I do, that Madrimov is trying to get some rounds in here, that he is trying to get some work early in this fight. He kind of told us as much this week. He's not looking or hoping not to pick up a first-round knockout. He wants to kind of test that body out, having been off for these 11 months.
Maybe, because, you know, he's not really punching with a lot of power. He's trying to get good timing with the punches, the placement. You know, he's not really putting much oomph behind that right hand. So I could see him trying to, you know, shake off some cobwebs, get some rounds in, and get the feeling of being in a fight.
Good right hand there from Salazar.
Yeah, chopping right hand. It cuffed around the guard and side of the head of Madrimov.
Leaping left from Исроил Madrimov.
Yeah, check left hooks, you know, stepping back by Salazar. It's a good round by Salazar. He's doing some good things. And you can see that his corner getting confident. Anytime he touches something, they like what they see.
How would you fight Madrimov if you were in there?
I would kind of fight exactly the fight that Salazar's fighting this round right now. On the outside, just staying with ones and twos. Don't do no hooks. And of course, jab to the chest and the belly for Madrimov. You gotta win a boring fight against guys like Madrimov. You don't want to make it entertaining.
Good couple of combinations from Madrimov. Left hand upstairs, went back down to the body.
You got to win quiet rounds, as my trainer used to say. Quiet rounds in the bag and just cruising to decisions. Look.
All right, round 4 scheduled for 10. Исроил Madrimov coming off the longest layoff of his career. About 11 months, 336 days to be exact.
Now Madrimov turning southpaw.
I was watching the breathing of Madrimov between rounds, obviously dealing with those lung issues. He was steadily trying to control his breathing in the corner. Was that an important part of your training back in the day, Sergio, to focus on how you breathe?
No, I actually had pretty good conditioning. I have strong legs, good conditioning, strong lungs, so breathing was never an issue for me. Plus I always had a big nose.
Plenty of oxygen.
Exactly.
You know, just talking to Joel Diaz in the corner of Исроил Madrimov, he admitted that his guy is a little bit rusty. It's been a long layoff, but he's still trying to get his timing in the ring. He likes how Madrimov is slowly starting to get the guard up on Salazar because he wants him going downstairs, landing those body shots. I think it's only a matter of time before they get him out of there.
Yeah, and you can see the rust, Chris, we talked about earlier. Madrimov is not looking great. He's looking good. Nothing fancy, you know, but it's just shaking cobwebs, getting the confidence back, you know, believing in your strength and your conditioning, getting those lungs burning again in the right way. And these are all things that Madrimov is learning right now, once again.
Salazar shelling up against the ropes. There's a couple of right hands to the chest as Madrimov tests the belt line of Salazar. Salazar's been sparring with Carlos Adames in preparation for this fight. Not a bad sparring partner, world champion.
Now standing in the corner talking to Joel, and as I'm standing up, who taps me on the shoulder? But Bektemir Melikuziev and MJ Akhmadaliev. These Uzbek fighters, they support each other no matter where they are.
Well, they all live together in Indio, California. Every Uzbek fighter extremely humble. Always meet you with a nice handshake and a good smile. Good left hand there for Madrimov, who looks like he's pushed the pedal down a little bit this round.
And you see him going upstairs there. That's all tactical. They want to get a knockout with a body shot here. They want to get those hands up from Salazar.
And you want to fight this. You want to fight this fight if you are to make a mistake by trying to keep up with the speed.
Still fighting in the southpaw stance is Madrimov.
And I think that's a good strategy generally against Madrimov. He has got great head movement, great body movement, but the one thing that's not moving, it's that midsection. His corner's right. That was great advice. Dig downstairs, try to get some shots into the body. Good shot right there, left hand.
Chris, have you given Salazar a round yet?
Not scoring it officially, but I don't think he's won a round. He had been competitive in at least 2 of these rounds, but I think Madrimov's had the advantage. The Salazar,
Pick it up, okay? You okay?
right on the belt line there from Исроил Madrimov, but Salazar is certainly having a better showing than a lot of people thought coming in.
We snapped Madrimov's chin with that right-handed Salazar. One of the best punches he's landed in this fight.
Right.
Good shot there.
Yeah.
Look, I agree with you, Chris. I don't think he's winning these rounds, but he's in these rounds, and he lands good shots. He has the respect of Madrimov, and in the second half of the fight, if conditioning and the breathing becomes an issue for Madrimov, I could see Salazar continuing to land these right hands and getting more confidence.
The crowd trying to urge Исроил Madrimov on.
Seems like Madrimov is having a hard time breaking the distance of Salazar. Salazar has good long arms where the power extends at the end. He unleashes that right hand, and Madrimov is at the end of it instead of being on the inside trying to dig. Just like that. See, he's getting hit at the end of the punches. That's no good for Madrimov.
This is the best round by far for El Olímpico.
He's had rounds like these, but then Madrimov comes back and hits you with the sexy punches, the easier to see punches.
And when you got a fighter who's dealing with lung issues, the longer this fight goes, you would think it would tilt in the favor of Salazar.
Madrimov got hit with a big right hand right there. He just ate it up. It seems like he doesn't respect the power of Salazar, but he's still getting hit with those shots.
Madrimov's been against some very good punchers early in his career, most notably Terence Crawford and Virgil Ortiz. So I think he's comfortable with the kind of power coming back from Salazar.
Yeah.
I like those shots to the gut now that Madrimov is doing. Left and right, straight to the belly. And Salazar is not liking those shots. You can see him bending down now.
Good right cross from Madrimov, but Salazar ate it pretty well.
Yes, he did, but it's the body shots. He's trying to hide the body now, trying to bend down. It's Salazar.
In this round, at least for Salazar, his best defense was offense as he eats the left hand. Competitive, good, solid round.
Madrimov's are just stronger punches. Hooks.
So round 6 now. Madrimov and Salazar, perhaps more competitive than Team Madrimov would like it to be, especially that 5th round. Does Salazar have the goods to elevate himself here over the final 5?
I don't think Salazar has another gear. He's been fighting in the exact same gear for 6 rounds already, you know, so no, I don't think he has anything else. I think it's Madrimov that needs to fight in another gear.
You can see Salazar has his feet planted and just wants to stand there and throw those big haymakers like that.
That was a missed opportunity right there for Madrimov. Salazar tried to come over the top with a really lazy right hand.
Let it go.
Madrimov should have been in prime position to counter that.
Counter that to the body. That's the reason you see the flat feet from Salazar, because he doesn't have good balance. Salazar does not have good balance. He can't keep up with the footwork of Madrimov.
Looks like a slight cut on the left eye of Madrimov now.
Yeah, they were working on that in between the last round. Some swelling there. Madrimov, you go back to the Virgil Ortiz fight, he was busted up pretty good. Some real swelling all over the face of Madrimov.
Good left hand there for Madrimov as Salazar again becomes a stationary target.
Stop! Let it go. Don't push. Step back.
We were talking about potential future matchups for Madrimov and Sergio. Madrimov said he's been or has sparred a lot with Sebastian Fedora. The Towering Inferno says he would love that fight. Not a lot of people are running in the direction
Nobody is running in the direction of a 6'6" southpaw except this man. I mean, Madrimov will go through murderer's row of, you know, everybody at 154. He has no fear.
Hey.
But can he beat these guys? It's a question.
Let's give credit to 5'9" Keith Thurman, who is running towards Sebastian Fundora.
Okay, step back.
You know what? I would like to see that fight.
It's happening. It's going to happen in March.
Oh, Salazar again, just right there in front of Madrimov to do what he wants to do like that.
That was a clean overhand right, and he wasn't able to rock or hurt Salazar. Salazar just took that shot. So I don't know if there's no power behind the punches of Madrimov or Salazar just has no respect. But look, those are big shots right there. And back comes Salazar, eating them up.
See, this is where I'd like to see Madrimov start to go through the gears a little bit. He's starting to land pretty good.
On the bell.
Like to see him pick up the pace.
Same expression on the face of Salazar as well. No stoppage.
Look.
Madrimov's corner is telling him that Salazar's tired, and Salazar's corner is telling him that Madrimov's tired.
Or winded, yes, or breathing hard. I see Salazar having fatigue. It seems like he doesn't have a second gear, like a burst of energy or second wind.
Well, if Madrimov wanted to get in this fight, work out the rust and come out unscathed, that has not gone to plan. You can see the redness on his neck, his body, the cut on his eye.
Now, this is not the ideal fight, comeback fight that Madrimov wanted. It's more physical than he needed it to be.
Yeah, and I think if you're Madrimov and you were hoping that this fight could springboard you into a bigger fight in your next time out, this is probably not the way that you want it to go. He's winning, and he's winning pretty cleanly, but a 10-round decision against a fighter the level of Salazar does nothing for Исроил Madrimov.
Yeah, this is a guy in Salazar. If you YouTube him, you can't find any of his fights, even though he's been in 21 of them.
You know, which doesn't always mean you're a bad fighter, but we do have the tape of him against Kevin Johnson. That did not go well at 140 pounds. I expected Madrimov to take some time to shake off some of the rust, but this is where I want to see him pick up that pace. Start digging to the body, flurrying a little bit more, showing Salazar some different things.
Yeah, it's not a good look getting knocked out by a fighter that's 8-2 in a smaller weight division. So yeah, I agree with you, Chris. Madrimov should be able to hurt and back up and keep him hurt. And look, see, he's zero.
Nice left hand from Madrimov. I was going to say, he can completely change the narrative if he can knock out Salazar here in the late rounds. It'll look great on paper. You win every round and then you finish him late. But the real story right now is that Madrimov is putting in some serious work and taking some damage. I mean, Chris, when you come off of back-to-back major main events, and then you're the third fight on the fight card, you're expected to get this guy out of there.
Yeah, this was set up to be a very easy night for Исроил Madrimov. And even if it goes to the scorecards, it still is going to be, on the scorecards, an easy night. But look at his body, look at his shoulders, look how hard he's going to have to work to beat a guy like Salazar.
And you can see the mouth is open of Madrimov as well. Good 1-2 from Salazar. Check left hook from the Dominican Republic native. We're in round 8, scheduled for 10. I'm sure not a lot of people thought we'd still be seeing these two in the ring at this point. But Salazar has proven to be a tougher foe than expected. Madrimov, though, keeping a pretty good work rate, though, as far as throwing punches. Told us he wanted to go through the gears, test himself in this fight, see how his body reacts. How would you say his body is reacting?
I can't tell you exactly what he's feeling, so I wouldn't know, Todd, but I could tell you that how he's punching and how he's looking, he's not the Madrimov that we're accustomed to seeing, because he's hit this man cleanly with big shots, clean shots, and he hasn't been able to hurt him.
Salazar hoping to find his magic touch. 4 of his last 5 wins have been by knockout. He believes if he can land the big shot, he can drop Madrimov, but so far has not hurt the Uzbek fighter. Power shots landed to the body. 41 for Madrimov, just 11 for Salazar.
Oh, good shot. That was
just as we show you the body shot graphic, Madrimov goes low.
That was a belt line type shot. It was still a good shot to the body, but the back of Salazar was towards me.
You just looked at these two guys and hadn't seen the fight. You'd think Salazar was winning just based on damage. Not sure what that redness is on the back of the neck of Madrimov. Where'd that come from?
And you can see a shiner, the left eye. Madrimov is starting to shut now. And that's because of those right hands that Salazar is landing. Now he's hooking them. You know, he's been throwing straight right hands. Now he's going around the guard of Madrimov, digging him downstairs to the gut as well. This is a better performance by Luis Salazar. You could tell that's the reason he was so confident coming into this fight. But the longer this fight goes, the worse it's looking for Madrimov.
Good 1-2 there from Madrimov, who's landed the punches. He just hasn't been able to find the power. There's another right hand that lands. But Salazar continues to walk right.
So far, Salazar has shown a pretty good chin, but more importantly, Madrimov just looks like a guy that really needs to work on his conditioning. We know he's still dealing with the after effects of that pneumonia diagnosis, still going through treatment for pneumonia. You can see the ripple effects. We've seen Madrimov at his absolute best, knocked out Kurbanov over in Saudi Arabia with a huge shot, went 12 solid rounds with Terence Crawford. This fighter that we're seeing tonight is a shell of the guy we saw in those fights.
Well, this is what happens when you fight back-to-back punchers, especially one of the biggest punchers in Virgil Ortiz. You know, you leave something in that ring. You know, a little bit of you gets taken away. So even though he wasn't knocked out, even though Madrimov was competitive in those fights, he still lost and he still absorbed that wear and tear.
I don't know, Sergio. I think this is more about his physical condition and not as much about what might have been taken out of him from Crawford and Ortiz. I mean, Crawford, that fight was a chess match. That wasn't a fight where either one of those guys was landing any kind of big shots. I just think Madrimov, you know, over the next 6 to 12 months, has got to stay active, get his body right, and see if then he can get himself back to that championship level.
Some deep breaths from Madrimov there during the clinch. He's been landing those 1-2s at will, but Salazar just eats them.
This is an exceptionally well-conditioned athlete most of the time. Remember, he's a career-long junior middleweight. Now, what is he, around 30 years old? He's been comfortable in this weight class for a long time because of that conditioning. I just think his conditioning, his health has suffered over this last year to the point where we're just getting like a 70-ish% version of Madrimov.
Well, he's certainly taken more punishment than he thought he would. Madrimov, a reported 335-15 amateur record, gold medalist at the 2017 and 2018 Asian Games. And now he's stepping on the gas here against Salazar. His corner wants him to finish this man, but it's not going to be easy because Salazar has shown a great chin.
Hey, he let Salazar off the hook there, landed a great right hand, backed Salazar up, and then kept the fight at the mid-range.
I don't think he let him off the hook. I just think Madrimov can't hurt Salazar. He's landing clean shots, and he hasn't got any kind of respect. Even when he rocks them, he still can't get respect. Salazar keeps coming back right after that. Good body shot there by Salazar, straight right hand. awkward combination for someone to throw, but it landed, and it continues having effects.
Chris, he may have won every round in this fight.
I think he's won most, if not all, of these rounds. But this was an opponent that was brought in to be taken out inside 5 rounds. And I think that the Madrimov that we saw a year and a half ago would have done that. This is just a lesser version of him that we're seeing tonight.
Well, he's going for the knockout. You got to love his gumption. And Salazar will be right there waiting. He's not going anywhere. Good run, too, from Salazar. And again.
Look, I agree with Chris here. I mean, whenever you came up short with one of the best fighters in the world, Bud Crawford, one of the biggest punchers with Virgil Ortiz, and you're an outstanding amateur, you shouldn't be going and struggling and getting hit by a fighter like Luis David Salazar. That's just plain and simple.
Well, Chris, he may not get the, quote, big upset that his gear says, but just getting it this deep into the fight has been an upset.
I think for Salazar, you're probably going home feeling pretty good about yourself. I mean, that last fight in the U.S. against Johnson, he got beat up from start to finish.
Oh, nice right hand. That shook Salazar a little bit. Minute 50 to go.
That shook Salazar, but what does he do? He keeps coming back with hard right hands of himself. Fighters that are hurt shell up. They don't want to punch. They don't want to engage. This is a man in Salazar that's already taken the best punch of Madrimov and doesn't respect it. He eats it up and comes right back.
Well, Salazar said he rededicated himself to the sport, said he wasn't getting the competition he needed in his home country, relocated to the United States, put the work in, and it appears he's going to go the distance with a former champ. Good right hand from Madrimov. And another one. Well, Salazar retreating a little bit here. The legs look unsteady. A minute to go. I don't know.
Still a minute left. This is it for him.
Can Madrimov give us some late drama? There's a right hand.
This is what he needs right now. And this is what we wanted to see. Keep this man hurt.
He's trying to hold on to Salazar. 45 seconds to go. Another big right hand. Are we about to see a stoppage?
Yes, we are. I don't think there's no fight left in Salazar. The referee is about to stop this fight. One more combination, and I think this fight's over.
30 seconds left.
One more combination, one more flurry. Do it behind speed. If you're Madrimov right now, put the punches together and force the referee to stop this fight.
I don't know that Madrimov has anything left in the tank. He had a good 30-second surge there, but you can see right now he is just as tired as Salazar.
Salazar gave us everything he had and limped across the finish line.